The following program was recorded at the ARC Annual Industry Forum in Orlando, Florida. I'm pleased to welcome Editor-in-Chief of Supply Chain Brain, Russell Goodman.
Joining us for a conversation today on fast-moving consumer goods is John Blanchard, Research Director, CPG Industries at ARC Advisory Group. John, welcome.
Thank you.
John, let's talk about the industry. How would you characterize fast-moving consumer goods?
Well, the fast-moving consumer goods industry is really a global industry with a lot of complexity, and it's rapidly growing, and it's highly competitive. And the industry actually is a very resilient industry in terms or in times of economic downturn like we see right now. But also, if you look at the global population of about 6.5 billion, that's going to grow to about 8 billion by 2030, there's a tremendous opportunity for growth in the industry. The industry also needs to protect or grow margins and have profitable growth in order to maintain shareholder value. Mm-hmm. And if you start to look at leading companies, they are characterized by rapid innovation and rapid executable actions across their supply chain, manufacturing, distribution channels, all the way out to the retailers. That's what makes a difference with the leading companies.
Well, let's turn now to some of the forces that might be reshaping the industry. You mentioned the economic downturn, the difficult economic times that we've been in. What about increasing consumer and retailer demands, government initiatives or government regulations? Are any or all of these things helping to reshape the industry that we're concerned with here today?
Yes, they actually are. If we start with the financial situation, we're really talking about a reduction in growth to about 2% from 5 or 6%. And what we see also, just like the financial institutions and other companies, the CPG companies, many of them are still highly leveraged, and deleveraging has to occur before any further growth, as I see it, will come about. Also, there's a slight change in the industry in terms of brands. Well, everybody knows this increase in SKUs. There's actually probably going to be a decrease in the number of brands that are out there. Now, if you also look at the point that more and more people are staying home, eating at home, having home entertainment movies, well, that's actually very, very good for the industry. Those are some of the things that are occurring in the industry. Now, if you look at where the industry is focused, they're focused on sustainability just like everybody else. But the focus in terms of sustainability is more than just that. It's also product quality, it's manufacturing itself, sustainability, and it's back to what I said earlier. It's about protecting margin, it's about managing costs.
Retailer and consumer demands. Let's turn to that for just a moment. How are those factors reshaping the industry?
Well, consumers have an opportunity to select just about anything they want nowadays. And so you're actually seeing more web-based buying of even foods and things like that. And if you actually look at Walmart, there's a Walmart initiative called Project Impact. Now, I'm not going to go into detail about everything that they're doing there, but basically part of it is they're going to 1 or 2 brands, and they're reintroducing their private label. All of this impacts these companies because a lot of them have to pretty much pay attention to Walmart. And actually, one of the things that's there also is the fact that companies that have a direct-to-store delivery system are going to have an advantage.
Now, let's turn to some of the other things that might be shaping the industry, such as the mergers, acquisitions that are taking place. Elaborate for us, if you will, on the so-called mega mergers that are taking place in the industry.
Well, mergers occur for many reasons, acquisitions as well, and it depends on the company's strategy. But what we do see is a pattern that one of the most important things for many mergers is basically expanding their distribution channels. We see this with the Kraft acquisition of Cadbury. Well, Kraft talks about it in terms of filling out their portfolio. What we're really talking about, in my mind anyway, is that Cadbury has a tremendous distribution channel and reputation in China, and that's a very good reason for Kraft to pay extra money. Mm-hmm. We're also talking about the same thing when we talk about the Mars and Wrigley situation. Mars has a tremendous recognition and a very good distribution channel in China. Now, if we turn to the United States, everybody knows about the InBev and Anheuser-Busch situation, actually the InBev acquisition of Anheuser-Busch. InBev not only obtained a great product line, they obtained one of the best distribution channels in the United States, and that's very important. And there's other ways of doing it when we start talking about alliances. There's an alliance between Miller and Coors called, I think they call the company Miller Coors the way they do it now. And basically that alliance was to give them more power to compete against Anheuser-Busch in the United States. And that includes all the distribution that goes along with it.
Mm-hmm. Now, I'm sure there's any number of reasons why these companies, this type of company, must improve its supply chain. What examples can you give of companies that, in fact, are engaging in that type of improvement?
We can start in different places. We can start in terms of the need for a more agile manufacturing facility in order to go from what we see as daily to hourly demand changes. And packaging operations has an important place in that because that's where a lot of the problems typically occur. Procter & Gamble is one company that does a great job there, but that's also one of the reasons that they're highly involved in the effort to develop packaging machine standards that would be make to pack, pack tags, and pack ML. That's one example. Kraft itself, you would think, is pretty sophisticated in their distribution capability, but in fact, they just recently completed some work with Oracle to synchronize their supply chain or the distribution channel, the logistics, in order to get rid of all the empty miles that they had there. We can also talk about other ways in which people have done it. I said that manufacturing has a place, and Frito-Lay is another example. Frito purchases a lot of oils, different types of oils, and what they've been doing in the past is these oils would go from one company to another company in order to get blended. Well, what Frito did is they put in inline blending lines in their manufacturing facilities. And basically, the oil could come directly to the facility, significantly reducing the number of miles and improving the delivery of the oil, as another example of that.
Fascinating look into the industry, John. Thank you very much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
John Blanchard, ARC Advisory Group, speaking with us today about fast-moving consumer goods. Thanks for watching.